Let's run on to Jamie Dimon here. Let's clip.
Blockchain is real. It's been around for quite a while, but now it's becoming more effective, more efficient because people are finding ways to do it faster and cheaper, permissioned or not permissioned. Smart contracts, I think, will.
What do you think? JD, is he coming around, or is this the game plan all along?
JPMorgan has had ownership, or they sold. They've been basically developing code on the Ethereum code base for a long time. They sold it to Consensus, as a lot of the tech and contracts that they developed, they sold to Consensus. So they've had this ongoing relationship with Ethereum. Again, they're a bank. They want to tokenize everything so they can trade everything and make markets and everything. So his move he didn't say anything good about Bitcoin.
No.
They're going to lend against Bitcoin as collateral. I think, really what people have to realize is that these big banks want you involved in crypto. They want you involved in real world assets. They want you in tokenized securities. They want to lend against your Bitcoin in hopes that they can get it from you when you default on the loan.
Yep.
They want to get the Bitcoin in their custody, and everything they're going to deliver to you that's crypto is going to be centralized on an exchange, custodied by them, permissioned.
I'll say, I think Jamie Dimon is smart. I think he's straight gangster. I'd go further. I think Wall Street's been run by the actual mob for a long time. It's interesting when he talks about Bitcoin, he sounds like a mobster from New York. When he talks about crypto, but there he talked very eloquently and like a banker. And I think the thing to watch with JPMorgan is they're going to do tokenized deposits. So not stable coins. They're going to take your money and say you have a deposit here, and they can provide maybe yield, and they can do fractional reserve banking off of the tokenized deposits. Right. So I think that's the thing to watch.
And even if they let you self-custody,
they're not.
It's going to be on a proof of stake or a centralized server that they can sanction.
Control and manipulate. Yeah. All right, let's move on to El Salvador. It seems like they're making a pivot here, and they're making Bitcoin voluntary, still legal, I guess. And this helped them get more aid from the IMF. Do you sort of?
Yeah, that's the way I read it.
Do you have take here? This seems to
this is sort of the same kind of the same opinion I've had forever with El Salvador. Is that it's the difference between. I don't think this takes anything away from Nayib's belief in Bitcoin, what he's doing to educate kids in the country, what he wants to do with mining, what he wants. But I think there's bigger things there, which is that in conjunction with building their Bitcoin reserve, they also need to build a functioning country and take it up a notch. They're expanding development. They're building new roads. They're building new infrastructure. Everything, it all takes money. And is Bitcoin this move? Hold on, though. Let me say one more thing. This move to make Bitcoin voluntary, even when it was mandatory, when I was there and it was mandatory, people that didn't want to accept it didn't accept it. It was never enforced as mandatory.
I think El Salvador has been a very interesting project. It's something to be excited about in a lot of ways, and there is a lot of excitement. I think that could be, we've seen it time and time again, affinity marketing and scamming. I'm not saying there's a difference between marketing and scamming, but you could just say, hey, we sell toothpaste and we're Bitcoin, and that there's an affinity to that, right? Like the toothpaste is not any different, but you're conveying it's made with things you would like as a Bitcoiner, right? This country is a Bitcoin country. The beach is better because it's the same beach, but we take Bitcoin at the concession stands, right? So you can have affinity marketing by just, right? What I want to get into here, though, real quick. So El Salvador integrates Bitcoin and AI into national policy. I think this is where it's a little ominous. So according to O'Daly, El Salvador has officially announced the integration of Bitcoin and artificial intelligence as part of its national policy. The country's treasury, so they have 660 million in Bitcoin. Even if Bitcoin 10x is at 6 billion, it's not a lot of money, even for a nation their size. The plan aims to utilize surplus geothermal energy to build data centers and AI special zones, providing a tax-free environment for the automation industry and decentralized financial services.
Mm-hmm.
All things I'm nervous and weary about that are not necessarily decentralized in true form.
Yeah.
And could have some sort of Orwellian I think sort of side to it. And I think they're even trying to put the entire educational platform on AI.
Yeah.
Which these things can sound progressive and great, but they can be very dark. And I think
they can be the Vatican Library of Information.
Yeah. So it remains to be seen. That's all I wanted to say there.
No, I agree with you. On all these points, I think El Salvador, though, I think when it comes down to this specific question about their deal with the IMF, to switch to voluntary Bitcoin as opposed to a mandated, you must accept Bitcoin.
I think that's actually in the Bitcoin ethos.
That is in the Bitcoin ethos, but it's also the way they operated from day one. There was a whole bunch of the population when it was mandated that you must accept Bitcoin that they just didn't, and it really wasn't enforced. And so, if anything, this is if this is what he had to promise the IMF to get 1.4 billion. Good on him, because that's just like
I get both sides.
It's an empty promise. Yeah. I mean, to the IMF, they're like, okay, yeah, he's probably sure. Yeah.
And you make the deals you have to make. Let's move on here real quick. So, Bitfarms pivots to AI. So they're selling their mining facilities in Paraguay. They're moving out of Latin America. I think a lot of this is to raise cash, move to a more consistent cash flow model that comes out of AI data centers, move their facilities back to North America where they have a lot more competitive advantage and geographical proximity and knowledge. So I think this is kind of par for the times.
Yeah. I mean, look,
this wasn't a big deal here.
They lost money mining Bitcoin.
Yeah, it was a tough year.
They weren't competitive. So
look, I'm in a mining
they're
pool.
They're gonna do what's right for their business.
Yeah, I'm in a mining farm. We had our first negative month in about like 18. It's tough out there for miners right now.
Yeah.
So all right, let's move on.
Which is interesting because when I read this, that's kind of the sense that I got. And think about how much miner capitulation you get near a bottom versus a top. Is there some sort of signal here that we might be near a bottom? Like meaning
near, maybe we go a little lower.
We stayed flat for over a year, and these miners are starting to have financial problems, getting turned out. Anticipate, probably invested infrastructure, so anticipating $250,000.
Well, hash rate was competitive and high.
Yeah,
price was low or sideways.
So I mean, you can service AI.
Capital intensive industry. All right, let's move on here.
All right, the government Bitcoin holdings. Governments currently around the world currently hold 3.1% of the Bitcoin supply, worth $58.6 billion. Strategic accumulation trend for 2026, or a double-edged sword amplifying regulatory overreach? What do you think?
I'm going to go with the first one. I mean, I think you're seeing accumulation by governments here. U.S. has 328,000 now, and a lot of that's through auctions, or some has been auctioned off previously to that. China has 190,000 from the Plus token case. United Kingdom has 61,000 from the Kion case. Ukraine is 46,000. Germany had 50,000, sold 50,000. El Salvador is up to 7,500. UAE is up to 6,400. Bhutan is up to 6,000. So maybe not as high as we thought. Netherlands up to 500 through cybercrime seizures. And the list goes on and on. Even North Korea is rumored to have 800. So I think this is incredibly bullish.
Yeah, it's the hash war theory. It's coming through.
All right, let's move on here.
Next. All right, chain analysis.
Yeah, what did you make of this little news item here?
Well, let me read it to you. So chain analysis sees 2026 focusing on compliance, scalability over rulemaking, an evolution towards mature markets, or a subtle barrier raising for small players. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously both, right? I mean, they're right, and they're shifting over from rulemaking to compliance, and it is going to create a barrier for smaller players. We see it every day in our business. I mean, we've been highly compliant from day one, but now they really want to get in, and they really want to make sure that you really are truly as compliant as they want you to be. Whereas before, as long as you were seemingly following the rules, there weren't a lot of questions asked, but now they want to actually get in and see the inner workings. So I think this is truly the case. in that it is going to be now more and more difficult for a small crypto company to come from the bottom up out of the garage and become a big player, because there are going to be pretty significant regulatory moats that have existed in the traditional financial system for decades that are being imposed through this new rulemaking onto the crypto ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, Operation Choke Point 2.0 was successful. It crushed a lot of nascent and emergent players, maybe some rightfully so. And it's now entrenched a lot of incumbents from the old system. And they'll have an easier time, the incumbents, of entering the system in the future by acquiring or, so. Yeah, and then the war continues with Keone Rodriguez, Samurai, and the fight on privacy and self-custody.
To what happened in the internet. It's similar to what's happened with a lot of technologies. It will probably drive a lot of M&A, and we're going to get a lot more. And look at the main takeaway for Bitcoiners: do not give up your self-custody. Self-custody is the antidote to all of these issues and fears that you have. Be compliant, keep your nose clean, and hold your own Bitcoin, and don't get involved in any of the derivatives thereof.
Yeah, and this is Bitcoin Center, live stream number 35. Please hit like and subscribe if you're enjoying the show. It's brought to you by Byte Federal. Go bank yourself. They got the Bitcoin ATMs, the point of sale, and the Bitcoin wallet. Take self-custody now. If we have any questions in the chat, but please hit like and subscribe. Tune in every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, maybe 2 p.m. Eastern. 2 p.m. Eastern, yeah. So every Tuesday at our new time during the afternoon. If there's any questions, hope to see you guys next week for sure.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money, and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest Byte Federal ATM and turn your cash to coin. Byte Federal has over 1,200 locations around the country with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, bytefederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.